Hi, I am Dr. Lisa Koche, and today I want to talk about something simple, your posture, and how deeply it's connected to your energy, your mood, your focus. It's something that over the past, let's say, 10 years has become a forefront in how I treat both myself and my patients. So it turns out that when we slouch, when we have poor posture, which unfortunately all of our devices have promoted this slouching posture, it compresses our diaphragm, so getting a nice deep breath to hyperoxygenate, get good oxygen to your tissues is compromised. You get more shallow breathing because you're literally compressing part of your lung. The other thing is when you do that, your vagal nerve, which travels all the way down, also gets impacted. That is the way that we signal the parasympathetic, which is our calming part of our nervous system. So if you stay in that slouch space, your vagus nerve is compromised, there's a disconnection, you can live in more sympathetic overdrive, which is not a good idea. That will keep you anxious, keep you with symptoms like palpitations, irritability, trouble sleeping, and so much more. Additionally, you literally restrict blood flow. So I work very closely with upper cervical chiropractors and chiropractic in general. I'm a fan of specific aspects of chiropractic, not the manual cracking, but alignment using an upper cervical atlas device that is percussive, activators, different ways to get you aligned safely. And what happens is when your C1 especially is out of alignment, which happens when your posture is poor, that happens more often when your posture is poor, you will compress the blood supply. So your vertebral arteries that are providing blood to your brain get compromised along with lymphatic drainage. This is a very simple, like you are leaning, moving in a way that's not the way we were meant to be functioning. Your lymph, your blood flow gets impacted, which can decrease your capacity to function at the highest level. So we also know from different studies, there have been studies about Superman or Wonder Woman pose, that when people stand with a more what looks like a power posture, that's what I believe the study out of Harvard called it, there are better outcomes, better interpersonal relationships, more energy, better mood, better confidence. So the data is there, and one of the things that we see today that has been a big issue is, like I said, the tech. So it's almost like, and I'm going to go to my spiritual woo side for a minute, so bear with me. I was studying something and where they talked about in the spiritual studies of Kabbalah that we have part of our soul and body in our head and the rest in our body, and part of our soul, it's our soul connection, and that Neanderthals. So when man, if you see those pictures of like man started like this as ape, and then we kind of started going throughout time and eventually we became supine, that it took us becoming supine to access our soul fully. How cool is that? It really rang true with me because I have felt intuitively in my own body, seen with patients throughout the years, that if patients go on a spiritual journey, they tend to have issues with their C-spine. So we want our C-spine, and as we evolve, you may need to stay on top of that even more, getting adjusted, working on your posture with a posture specialist, physical therapy, whatever it is that's needed for your body, but a lot of times just checking in. And then it made me start to think, we look at what's happening with humanity today. We know people are off track. We know that consciousness on one hand is finally rising, and on the other hand, there's so much division and fighting, divisionary polarity, agendas pushing that polarity. So I'm just going to throw it out there. What if tech came in to sort of push us that way, right? Because if we're stuck bent over our phones, we've lost connection to our soul. So remember, the devices are great. They have a lot of great things when used correctly with parameters. So one of those may be figuring out a way which I know it's hard, but where you can potentially look at your devices while you're in a more upright posture, and obviously with the protections from the Wi-Fi and the blue light and all of that. We know that physiology and psychology. So remember, this is something that is affecting your body physically, everything from vagal nerve, blood flow, lymph, but the psychological aspects, mood, access to higher versions of yourself and your soul, this posture, which seems like it's just, your mom saying, stand up straight, it's actually powerful. So make sure that small shifts you begin to, if you just think about it during the day, correct the posture, work on your posture, work with a professional. Those can not only help these esoteric and physiological things, but also just your energy. How cool is that? Stand up straight, have more energy. So I believe if you take a look at your posture, maybe take a picture, have a friend take a picture, stand up next against a wall. You can go online and find quick tips and videos on how to work on your posture. Will make a big, big difference. So try to keep your feet flat, try to keep your screen more at eye level. So having the stands that will bring your phone up to here, your computer up higher, those can really, really help. And then work with a trainer or with your own kettlebells, planks. Strengthening your core and your back help you in that posture. Seek out an upper cervical chiropractor, which can be invaluable in my experience. And then take breaks to do deep, deep, deep breathing, which is upright, like upright, sitting upright, filling your belly, your diaphragm, all the way through your lower abdomen, middle abdomen, upper chest. Go through those 3 phases of breathing so that you are fully accessing your lungs and the full posture, that you get the benefits of being fully aligned. It's not really just about looking confident, because you will look more confident. You will feel stronger when you do this. It's got powerful, powerful benefits. They're going to give you an edge in so many ways you never thought of. So try it out. Ask or comment with questions, and I can't wait to see you guys all standing strong, tall, and confident.